my problem and my joy is your joy. Citizen FM. Citizen FM. Make we join our hearts to build a nation of our dream. Citizen FM.
Stay connected to the heartbeat of the nation's capital. Tune in to FCT Today every Wednesday, 12:30 p.m. on Citizens 93.7 FM Abuja. Get the latest updates on news, events, and happenings in and around the Federal Capital Territory. From politics to entertainment, business to culture, we have got the inside scope. Join the conversation, stay informed, and be ahead of the curve. Don't miss FCT Today every Wednesday, 12:30 p.m. on Citizens 93.7 FM Abuja. FCT Today, your window to the FCT every Wednesday, 12:30 p.m. on Citizens 93.7 FM Abuja.
The issues. Everybody respected that because it was coming from the president.
Theory behind it, the way the people took the battle in their hands.
Some civil servant retired without a roof over his head.
The cause.
If we cannot trust you, then you cannot take the ticket of this country. Goodness cannot be divorced from those who cause the crime. Honestly.
The passion.
You must have national spread. So where is it?
Why are you so concerned about that?
He said money was...
I never...
No.
The platform is always the same.
Insight on Citizen FM 93.7.
The source is constant.
Make we join our hearts to build a nation of our dream. Citizen FM. Your problem is my problem and my joy is your joy. Citizen FM. Make we join our hearts to build a nation of our dream. Citizen FM. Your problem is my problem and my joy is your joy. Epa!
Need a lift? Feeling low, bored, or confused?
Want your dream to brightly glow?
Here is what to do.
Women's Corner is waiting just for you.
Education, work, lifestyle, career, mentorship, and family too.
We will tackle the issues, provide solutions, and see you through. Finding your voice, reaching high, and making an impact. Women's Corner, where knowledge can fly.
Join us every Mondays and Wednesdays at 1 p.m. for inspiring stories and practical advice to reach all your glories.
It's Women's Corner on Citizen 93.7 FM Abuja.
Woman don't suffer, lower everybody.
Did you miss out on the news during the week? Not to worry. Retrospect is here to make up for the missed information. Retrospect is a complete package of all the major news headlines that made the airwaves from Sunday to Saturday. Join me, Esther Nwusu, on the program Retrospect on Citizen 93.7 FM Abuja every Sunday at 6 p.m. Retrospect. We keep you informed.
The nation of our dream. Citizen FM. Citizen FM. Your problem is my problem and my joy is your joy. Citizen FM. Citizen FM. Make we join our hearts to build a nation of our dream. Citizen FM. Citizen FM. Yeah. Your problem is my problem and my joy is your joy. Epa! Citizen FM. Citizen FM. Shake it. Citizen FM Abuja. Now we be the voice voice of the people.
Abuja.
Wake up. Reach out. Speak up. Speak out. You are the voice of a new generation. And this
Is your station.
Talk Radio 93.7 Citizen FM.
The issues, everybody respected that because it was coming from the president.
Theory behind it, the way the people took the battle in their hands.
Some civil servant retire without a roof over his head.
The cause,
If we cannot trust you, then you cannot take the ticket of this country. Hussein cannot be divulged from those who cause the crisis. Honestly.
the passion.
You must have national spread. So where is it?
Why are you so concerned about that? He said money was.
I never.
No.
The platform is always the same.
Insight on Citizen FM 93.7.
The source is constant.
My name is Lawrence Umoite.
There is always an opportunity.
Tomorrow, Insight returns with another interesting.
Insight with Lawrence Umwete on Citizen 93.7 FM Abuja. Be part of the experience.
Abuja.
Wake up. Reach out. Speak up. Speak out. You are the voice of a new generation. And this
Is your station.
Talk Radio 93.7 Citizen FM. Hello, Abuja. You are listening to 93.7 Citizen FM, the latest radio station based in Nigeria's capital. Our station seeks to broadcast a broad mix of culture and views with priority given to development programming to enable residents share ideas and opinions, music and drama. At Citizen FM, we believe in progressive talk and solution-driven conversation. Our aim is to build a united Nigeria by bringing people of diverse culture together through communication. Enjoy listening to 93.7 Citizen FM. We are more than just a radio station. We are a part of your life.
This is 93.7 Citizen FM, Abuja.
Hello, good morning. A beautiful morning today, Tuesday the 14th of October 2025 in Abuja. And welcome to Newspaper Review on Citizen 93.7 FM Abuja. Yes, I know the 6 tune is different, but yes, that's how we're going to roll this morning. And as usual, we have quite a number of newspapers lined up for review this morning, and as usual, we'll run through them, and later we will look at some of the stories in details. My name is Lawrence Umoite. All right, we start off with the Punch newspaper this morning, and it leads with this story on politics. 2027 opposition splits over NAS poll shift plan. That's from the Punch newspaper. And still staying with the Punch newspaper, Fubara swears in SSG cautions against power abuse. And retired AIG leads probe into killings by Oshun and Moteko. And slain husband's family slams Tinubu's pardon for Miriam Sanda. Makinde warns Wike camp against stopping PDP convention. And Lagos rearranges kidnap kingpin Evans over 2 cops' murder. And probe begins as soldier wife found dead in Niger barracks. ASU strike grounds varsities, FG clamps down. Federal government urged to monetize oil gas reserves before demand peak. All right, we move on to the Guardian newspaper now, and the Guardian leads with the same story as the Punch newspaper. National Assembly proposes 2026 date for 2027 general election. And Labour wades into federal government ASU rift as strike grounds varsities nationwide. 72.64% of Nigerians' petrol imported amid rivalry from new refineries. EU, Nigeria strengthens partnership with 320.5 billion naira agriculture credit support. Experts blame aviation insecurity on complacency, excessive reliance on technology. FCCPC to raise compliance team for CBN's 48-hour refund of failed transactions. Still staying with the Guardian newspaper, RMFC, that's the Revenue Mobilization Allocation and Fiscal Commission, decries poor mining revenue remittance moves to plug leakages. And Dangote warns against using monopoly claims to discourage local investment. Madagascar president flees country as soldiers join anti-government protests. NAS proposes November 2026 for general elections. Vehicle manufacturer to build CNG plants in Bayelsa. More knocks for IMF, World Bank over water privatization in Africa. Government empowers communities to lead disaster response. Institute launches new initiative to bridge gap for SMEs. Digital platform eases record keeping for schools in Nigeria, Ghana. And the right group urges police to ensure justice in alleged 16 million naira visa fraud case. Army probes death of soldier who killed wife committed suicide in Niger. Evans rearraigned in Lagos over alleged murder of 2 police officers. And Nigeria must rise above sectarian traps in war against terror. Politics of bitterness stand condemned. Perpetrators should be punished. All right, we move on to The Nation newspaper this morning, and The Nation leads with another politics story. Mba opens another gale of governor's defection to APC. That's the governor of Enugu State. And federal government directs VCs to enforce no work, no pay rule. First Lady gets Qatar Foundation's green light for Almajiri's out-of-school children's education. And IMF seeks autonomous central banks in stronger global system. All right, we move on to this day newspaper now. And religious leaders reject U.S. claim of genocide against Nigerian Christians. And Nigeria's economic recovery tangible, rooted in fiscal consolidation, sectorial resilience. And 2027 National Assembly proposes November 26 for presidential governorship election. An analyst caution Nigeria risk FTSE setback if capital gains tax proceeds. Presidency allays fears over Edun's health, says is getting better. Freedom of Information Act applicability to public records of state, and court sets aside EFCC for future order on Isafuntua's properties. Court holds off on Ajudua's bail application. All the stories you can find on the front page of this day newspaper. And from Ibadan, or your state, Governor Makinde is saying Nigerians should be worried when hunger defects from markets to APC. Okay. And still staying with this day newspaper, Sheyi Tinubu leading a new generation with vision and heart. All right, we move on to the Sun newspaper. And 2027, NAS requests November 2026 for general election. And Senator Orji Uzokalo mourns Omar Akpai, describes him as global ambassador of faith. Okay, and finally we move on to the Vanguard newspaper. And it's a sports story, do or die clash. 3 teams, 1 chance. Talking about Nigeria's quest for qualification for the next World Cup. Federal government directs VCs to submit attendance compliance report as varsity strike begins. Disaster management, Governor Lawal says Zamfara is committed to working with NEMA. And NNPC orders hike fuel price to 955 naira per litre. Peter Obi to FG states, stop destroying people's property. Okay, Minister task insurance operators on climate change. 2027, no alliance with Jonathan to unseat Tinubu. This is coming from Peter Obi. And disquiet in PDP over Mbadiri's planned defection to APC. I think we saw this yesterday. All right, we'll take a short break now, and when we return, we'll move in straight to the second half of the show, where we look at some of the stories in details. And Mr. Salami will be joining me then. A still newspaper review on Citizen 93.7 FM Abuja. Please don't go away, the program returns shortly.
Wake up. Reach out. Speak up. Speak out. You are the voice of a new generation. And this
is your station.
Talk Radio 93.7 Citizen FM. Hello, Abuja. You are listening to 93.7 Citizen FM, the latest radio station based in Nigeria's capital. Our station seeks to broadcast a broad mix of culture and views with priority given to development programming to enable residents share ideas and opinions, music and drama. At Citizen FM, we believe in progressive talk and solution-driven conversation. Our aim is to build a united Nigeria by bringing people of diverse culture together through communication. Enjoy listening to 93.7 Citizen FM. We are more than just a radio station. We are a part of your life.
This is 93.7 Citizen FM, Abuja.
All right, thank you so much for staying tuned. It's Newspaper Review on Citizen 93.7 FM Abuja. And this is the second half of the show. And this is where Mr. Salman Salami joins the show. Good morning, Mr. Salman Salami.
It is a very, very good morning to you, Lawrence, and of course, our super citizen listeners. Good morning.
All right, thank you so much, sir, for joining us. Mr. Salami is the Chief Operating Officer, Citizen 93.7 FM Abuja. And as usual, we will be leaning heavily on him as we go through the pages of the papers this morning. Mr. Salami, let's start with the Guardian newspaper. And the story dominates the media space this morning. It's about the fallout of the Constitution review at the National Assembly. The National Assembly proposes November 2026 date for 2027 general election. Nigeria's electoral timetable is set for a major shake-up as the National Assembly proposes that 2027 presidential and governorship elections be held in November 2026, 6 months before the end of the current administration's tenure. The move, which forms part of the Electoral Act, aims to allow all election litigations to be concluded before the May 29, 2027 swearing in of new leaders, ending the tradition of pending court cases dragging into a new government's term. The draft amendment was unveiled during a public hearing jointly organized by the State, the Senate, and the House Committee on Electoral Matters. Under the proposed amendment, elections into the office of the President and that of the Governor are to be held not later than 185 days before the expiration of the incumbent's tenure. That calculation points directly to November 2026 as a new poll date, 3 months earlier than the traditional February or March election date. Mr. Salami.
Well, I think that what the National Assembly is trying to do is to ensure that they clear all obstacles before the swearing in. And the tinkering with the Electoral Act, as they are trying to do, is in order in the sense that whatever we deepen our democracy and make it better than before, it's a welcome development. And if they are now saying that let's have election 185 days before the expiration of the tenure of the incumbent government, is the right way to go. So be it. Everything should be geared towards a transparent, a free, fair, and credible election. I am looking forward to seeing a situation where the opposition will say, we are not going to court because the election is free, fair, and credible. and we are agreeing that we have lost this election. That means we have gotten to a level where our electoral process is trustworthy and acceptable to all the parties involved. I think that should be the vision, and that should be the goal of any electoral process.
All right. Reactions have started falling in, and let's look at the Punch newspaper. While the proposal has received backing from INEC, which described it as a step towards greater transparency and efficiency in the electoral process, opposition parties remain divided over its motive and potential impact. In an exclusive interview with The Punch, the PDP Deputy National Leader, Timothy Osadolo, accused the National Assembly of trying to buy more time for Tinubu. He said the National Assembly should not be thinking of tinkering with the Electoral Act in this regard. If their plan is to give President Tinubu an opportunity to stay a bit longer before he goes, they should own up. Similarly, the National Publicity Secretary of the new Nigeria People's Party, Ladipo Johnson, warned that bringing the poll forward could put the opposition at a disadvantage. There's a quote here: personally, I feel that it is a way to wing the opposition. Those in government will be better prepared, while other parties will be forced to go back to the drawing board. Holding elections in November 2026 may be too early for those expecting February or March 2027. The National Publicity Secretary of the ADC, Bolaji Abdullahi, said the party would only comment after reviewing the draft amendment. Mr. Salami, those are some of the reactions.
Well, we should respect it. Even where there is nothing to fear, politicians and the way they look at issues. How do you give the opposition an advantage? The incumbent government an advantage over the opposition? How? Just tell me how. What they are trying to do is what I think should be paramount. A situation whereby all legal matters, all the fallouts of the election will have been sorted out in such a manner that no government will be formed or nobody will be in office with albatross hanging on his neck. What they are saying is this: let all legal issues be sorted out before any government comes into power, which makes sense to me in a way. But the question is this: will the National Assembly be able to get this through before the time? That is one. And two, of course, politicians will always make a mole out of, make a mountain out of a molehill, because that is the way of politics. Mutual suspicion is always there. And I think that is what makes politics tick anyway. But the truth is this: in the process, don't let us lose sight of what is right.
All right, Mrs. Salami, yes, I agree with you to some extent, but my only apprehension has always been timing. For me, if you need to amend laws or amend processes, you need to give all the parties adequate time to prepare for it, because for some people, some groups who are serious about what they want to do, a lot of people would have planned their campaign, planned their strategies ahead of the election, having the date of February 2027 in mind. Well, nothing stops the National Assembly from saying, even if we amend this law, it's going to take effect after the next election, so that everybody is on the same page and knowing that when election comes, this is what we are going to do. This is how many days before election. This is everything will be on the same place to avoid all these things. But as you said, it's for the National Assembly to reach a consensus and pass the amendment. It's still at the level of debate. I think the just passed second reading, and so we are likely to see more debate on that, Mr. Salami.
Well, like I said, Lawrence, politicians will always have something to say.
That's why they're politicians. And don't forget that they are all in the game. So sometimes when they see things that you and I may not see, because they are all part of the game. So it's a chess game. They know moves when they see one. So sometimes some of these things may not just be crying wolf. It might just be part of it, because some of them were in certain positions before, so they know how these things pan out. But as we said, let's see how it pans out. The phone lines are open. You can join the conversation 0903 2229797. You can also call us on 0818 2222205. You can also send us a WhatsApp message, and let's have your thought on any of the stories that we are reviewing this morning. Mrs. Salami, let's move on to, back to the Guardian newspaper, and this time the ASU story. Labour wades into FG ASU rift as strike grounds varsities nationwide. The academic activities were halted across several Nigerian universities yesterday as a 2-week warning strike declared by the Academic Staff Union of Universities took effect. Among the affected institutions were, federal universities, no need to go into all that, but ASU members embarked on a strike to protest non-conclusion of the renegotiated 2009 FG ASU agreement and the non-payment of their withheld 3.5 months' salaries. Meanwhile, the federal government yesterday directed vice chancellors of federal institutions to work to enforce the no work, no pay policy for lecturers participating in the industrial action. And also the minister clarified that members of the Congress of Universities Academics and the National Association of Medical and Dental Academics who are not participating in the strike should continue to receive their full entitlement. The Nigerian Labour Congress has urged the federal government to use the 2 weeks warning strike declared by ASU as an opportunity to present a concrete plan for the implementation of all outstanding agreements with the union. Mr. Salami.
Lawrence, this is another sad day. You know, we are told that this thing will be abated, and we never knew that it will continue as it seems now. Today is day 2. Are we saying that the 2 weeks warning strike must take its full course? Because NLC has now supported ASU and said that yes, within the 2 weeks, let the federal government come up with their own part of fulfill their own part of the bargain, 2009 agreement, and the consul that is not going on strike should be paid fully, right? Is that not what the NLC is saying? You see, we should always appreciate time. That time is of the essence. 2 weeks is a lot of time. We may not realize it. Why can't they come back to work? Why negotiation continues? What will happen? The 2 weeks, the warning strike is just to make the government know that we are serious about this. And the government has been calling them and saying that, please let us resume negotiation. In actual fact, we are told that as at the last count, we are on the same page as regards the issues on the table. I am still calling for what I call constructive discussion, peaceful engagement. Jojo experience has shown is always better than war. Please, I'm pleading all the parties to please, in the name of everything that is good, resume discussion on this issue. And please allow our children to remain on campus, realizing fully that the idle hand has always been the devil's workshop. Please, go back to work. But at the same time, I'm pleading with the government too to take a second look at this issue. The idea of no work, no pay is not going to work. Why am I saying so? Don't let us flex muscle. As the big brother, please don't flex muscle. Let us be constructive in this matter. Two wrongs can never make a right. And I do not want government to think that, well, we hold the ace, we will not pay you. No, no. I think what we need is to come to the round table and let all the parties shift ground. What should be paramount is the interest of our children. I leave it at that.
All right, Mrs. Salami, I think one of the ingredients of a good negotiation is showing good faith during negotiation. And when you show good faith, no matter how hardened the other party is, there is a tendency for that party to try to concession, just like you have said. But for me, I think there are two issues that I noticed about the strike. Mrs. Salami, we have federal universities funded by the federal government. We have state universities funded by state governments. Now, this ASU strike affects both. So what is the fate of, for example, the universities funded by my state in Akwa Ibom? And the funds come from the state. And the lecturers, they are on strike now because the federal government has an issue with lecturers in federal universities.
How are they affected?
What is the connection? How fair is that?
Well, you can cry more than the bereaved.
How fair is that?
Well, you can cry more than they. You see, it is they are doing it in sympathy with their brothers. Remember that Council is there. Council is not going on strike, right? The faction.
I know.
Then you see, the point is this. Remember too that private universities are not on strike. They cannot be anyway. What are we saying? At all times, when there is strike, it's only the children of the downtrodden who will be more affected. Well, are we saying that yes, even the elites are not bothered because most of the children in private universities are the children of the elite? Is that what you are saying? And they too have been telling us that yes, why they do send their children to private universities, because when you enter, you know the date you are going to graduate, and nothing will stop that. It is the children of the poor who will enter the university, and 5 years we are still counting for a 4-year course.
Okay, Mrs. Salome, I think we've had enough of the blame game, and I think that the government, we have a lot of experienced people in the government who should know, who have institutional memory. The ASU strike did not. I was going through the internet the other day, and in 1990, Mr. Salami, there was this prolonged ASU strike. Yes. The issues are quite similar. They may not be the same. Even before the so-called 2009 disputed agreement, 1990, we had this issue. That's how many years ago? Almost 30-something years ago. What is so intractable about the relationship between ASU and government that cannot be resolved? The issue of no work, no pay, for me, is a distraction. It's not what anybody should think of now, because at the end of the day, Mr. Salami, you're going to pay that salaries. You're going to pay. It's a distraction. Is that the issue? Let's sit down on the table. This has the back and forth has been on in the last 6 months. It's not as if it started today. The back and forth has been on in the last 6 months, and they say warning strike. Mr. Salami, what's the difference between this warning strike and a total strike?
Lawrence, you see, let me tell you this. Strike, the world over, is always the last resort. It's not the first thing.
Maybe for the lecturers, this is the last resort.
No, you see, let me tell you, there is a need to rethink the labor-government relations. Look, I've been saying it that your joker, you don't use your joker anyhow. It has gone to a level where governments will say, the last thing you can do
is to go on strike. That was what happened in 2022, remember? Now the schools were shut for almost 1 year.
I remember before we even entered university in 1981, there was a strike. I remember now. Then it only means that strike as a weapon of industrial relation is no more effective. It's not. Because it has gone into a level whereby you're worse.
So, okay, when I hear this kind of argument, okay, so what do you want the labor unionists to do now? What do you want?
What I want all parties to do is what you have said. Let us have good faith in discussion.
In the absence of good faith, what will you do when you say that strike is not an...
Look. What we are saying is this. Strike should be the last resort. Try to explore all areas, all ways of negotiation. And I want to believe that at the end of the day, it's always an ill wind that will blow nobody any good. No matter what, experience has shown that even at the end of all this, they will still come
to the table.
Away. Why do we leave the table in the first instance?
In the first place. Yes.
I don't know what...
Well, I think going forward, the government needs to show utmost good faith.
The lecturers.
They need to show good faith, Mrs. Salami.
The government and the lecturers.
Well,
you see, I've been saying this. Let all those concerned realize that what is at stake is the future of our children. Right? It's not the lecturer going to school. And in any case, lecturing is just one of the things that go on in universities. Research may be going on. Community engagement may be going on. Teaching, research, and community work. Those are the three things that universities the world over are noted for. But the truth is this. If there are no students, there may not be a university.
Okay, so moving forward, we encourage both parties to return to that table.
That is what we
And not just return, because the ASU will tell you this is not the first time that we are returning to the table. We are encouraging both parties to return to the table and government to have utmost good faith in decisions. And at the risk, Mr. Salami, of sounding like a broken record, let government view the ASU situation as if the oil workers were on strike. What will government do if the oil workers were on strike?
Lawrence, I even want government to do the right thing at the right time, all time. They do not need to wait for ASU to fund the universities. The universities, no doubt, they are underfunded. You know what I'm saying?
Because I know why I'm saying that. Remember the last face-off between Nupeng and the Dangote refinery? The federal government had to intervene through the office of the NSA.
Even in the night.
Yes, and they made sure that that situation was resolved. Whatever it took, there was an intervention and it was resolved. So that is the kind of situation we want to see in this. It's not something that the government should allow the Minister of Education and the Minister of Labour to handle. It's gone beyond that. The president needs to make a direct intervention.
From the way the whole thing went, and this is sad, the government has not prioritized education.
Sad.
Because, like you rightly pointed out, they did everything to ensure that Pengassim did not go on strike because of the far-reaching implication of the strike. It only means that, yes. Look,
and you see, and Mr. Salami, the sad part is that when oil workers go on strike, we look at the immediate implication. Oh, the economy is going to shut down. Oh, people will not be able to move, stuff. But when schools are shut down, do you know the implication in the next 10 years? When you disrupt a school academic calendar for 1 year like we had in 2022, if we're a nation that believes in data, by the time you research and know what happens, what the nation loses when it shut its universities for 1 year, you cannot put it to paper. You'll be amazed.
The truth about what is going on is this, and I'm saying this with all sense of responsibility. There is the need for the government to prioritize education, pay more attention to education. Education is important, if not more important than Pegasus strike. We are discussing the future of our children, and no nation will take its own without well-educated future leaders.
Exactly. I just remember a clip you sent to me the other day on WhatsApp. It might have sounded very funny, somewhere saying if you want to destroy a nation, all you need to do is to destroy their education. Understand? Make sure that their doctors are poorly trained. Make sure that their lawyers are poorly trained. Make sure that their accountants and everyone is poorly trained. In the next 10 years, you begin to see the implication.
I don't think they see it this way. And that is just what it is.
It's sad.
And honestly, let me tell you this. They may not tell us this. Most of the children in private universities are the children of the elite. And unfortunately, most of them attended these federal universities.
Yes, yes.
These public schools. And they can hold their own anywhere in the world. Why are we destroying it now? It is unfair.
All right, Mr. Salami, deliberately I wanted us to spend a lot of time on this ASU matter because it is at the core of our development as a nation.
It is.
All right, let's move on to another issue. Nigeria must rise above sectarian traps in war against terror. And the federal government is right to have on September 28, 2025, push back against narratives seeking to pitch Nigeria's fight against terrorism in religious storylines. Such narratives are too simplistic to be allowed to distort the insurgency and terrorism that has affected the country for about 1.5 decades. The truth is that Nigeria's insecurity crisis is multifaceted and grows primarily because the government, in providing security and government as, I think this is, this is an editorial from The Guardian, so it's not really a news story, but I think it is pertinent that we look at it. It's making so much sense. Governments, Nigeria must rise above sectarian traps in war against terror. Mr. Salami.
It is an editorial and it is in order.
Yes.
The question I would love to ask is this. When will this terrorism, banditry come to an end? Is it not possible to give a deadline and tell all the service chiefs that yes, you are doing your best, but I want to know in concrete terms, when do you think this will come to an end? Or are we saying that yes, we cannot put a date to it, or we cannot put a time to it because it is it is what they call asymmetric warfare. If it is, I am saying that there must be an end to this insurgency thing, given the quantum of resources that is going into it. And Lawrence, and I'm being very frank today, that we can't leave it open-ended and say that yes, we are still fighting terrorism, we are fighting banditry, and we will do that till thy kingdom come. I want to believe that the Nigerian army can do it. And I want Mr. President to call all the service chiefs and tell them, no, enough is enough. We know the quantum of money we have sunk into this. Give me a deadline. When will this thing come to an end? I know that you have all the excuses. You have all the reasons to tell me that, yes, it is impossible to say this. So it is going to be an eternal war. Man, I think let's get serious.
Yes, I think the editorial of the Guardian newspaper is very timely because we, as a nation, we don't need to be dragged into that trap, that dangerous trap of thinking that this is just a you versus us thing. There is an element of criminality. There is also the element of those who are intentionally sabotaging the effort for different reasons, for political reasons, for pecuniary reasons, and so many other things. There are those who are misinformed, generally brainwashed. So there are different sectors to this thing, and as a nation, we need to have that political will and be on the same page. Because no matter what, if we are not on the same page, the military, the civilians, and everyone, even citizens, we are not on the same page, we'll just be wasting time. It's not something that one sector of the country can do.
And let me even now address the issue pointedly. Because the moment we make it a sectarian thing, then we are finished.
Yes.
And that is what the terrorists, that's what they want.
Mm-hmm.
But we are forgetting that a criminal is a criminal. And when these people come knocking, they do not ask you, are you a Muslim? Are you a Christian? In actual fact, look at the IDP camps.
Mm-hmm.
There are more of Muslims than Christians. The epicenter of this war, the Borno State, Katsina State, Niger State, and now Kwara State. Of course, we know generally that the north, there are more Muslims in the north. We are not saying that we are not making a point that they kill more Muslims than more Christians. All we are saying is that, honestly, no religious member is spared. And these people are criminals.
Must be emphasized.
There is a need. They are criminals. Don't let us dub it a religious war. If we go to that level, then that is the end of the day.
Hopefully we will not get there, Mr. Salame. Thank you so much, Mr. Salame, for your interventions today. It's always been a pleasure to have you on Newspaper Review on Citizen 93.7 FM.
It's a national assignment. We should be more committed to it.
Exactly. Well, that's our package today. The program returns tomorrow, 7 a.m. on Citizen 93.7 FM Abuja. My name is Lawrence Omoiti. Enjoy the rest of your day.